I want to talk about something that should set off alarm bells for anyone who cares about the Constitution, the rule of law, and the balance of power in Washington. This isn't rumor, this isn't speculation, this is about the Department of Justice under President Biden, accused of secretly obtaining phone records from sitting United States senators. And the way it happened? According to Senator Josh Hawley, it was a flat-out violation of federal law. Let's get straight to the heart of the accusation. Senator Hawley says the DOJ didn't go through the proper channels. Instead, they went around the Senate, bypassing official offices, and straight to telecom giants like Verizon and AT&T. What did they grab? Phone records tied to senators' official government devices, not personal phones. These are devices used for actual legislative work, protected duties under the Constitution. The kicker? Senators say they were never notified. Their offices were never even asked for the records. The DOJ allegedly went in the back door, operating in the shadows, and avoided transparency every step of the way. Now here's where things get even more serious. Hawley points to federal law, specifically USC section 6628A. That statute makes it crystal clear. Records from official Senate devices aren't just the property of phone companies, they legally belong to Congress itself. Why? Because they're directly tied to constitutional duties and are protected by things like the speech and debate clause. So if the DOJ scooped them up without congressional approval, Hawley isn't calling it a mistake. He's calling it unlawful. And here's the part that should concern every single American. Hawley says there was zero notice to senators, no clear criminal reason, and no legitimate legal process justifying the DOJ's actions. This wasn't hypothetical. It happened. And yet, according to Hawley, there have been absolutely no consequences. If this can happen to the people elected to protect our rights, who's safe from government surveillance without cause? If you care about holding power accountable, hit subscribe right now, because I'll keep breaking down what's really happening in Washington. Hawley didn't mince words. He called this a grotesque violation of statutory law and the separation of powers. Think about it. The executive branch, through the DOJ, allegedly spying on the legislative branch while lawmakers are doing their jobs. That's not just a breach of protocol. It's crossing a constitutional red line. The speech and debate clause, it exists to stop this exact kind of executive overreach. If that's ignored, Congress's independence is under direct threat. And here's Hawley's warning. If this is allowed to slide, if there are no real consequences, it sets a chilling precedent. Today, it's senators. Tomorrow, it could be any official who stands up to executive power. If we're serious about stopping political weaponization of our justice system, Hawley says, this is where the line must be drawn. This isn't just about party politics. It's about whether constitutional limits still mean anything in America. When one branch secretly surveils another, everyone's freedom is at risk. The real question now isn't just what happened, but what will be done about it. Because if we do nothing, it's only a matter of time before it happens again.
The records that they sought to track and trace and tap, the devices that they sought, are in the possession of senators pursuant to their constitutional duties. 2 U.S.C. section 6628A specifically says that those records do not become the possession of cell phone companies. They don't become the possession of Verizon or AT&T or whomever. They are retained by the senator's office. Why? Because these devices are used pursuant to the speech and debate responsibilities of senators. Yet the Justice Department did not inform senators, did not seek from our offices these records. They went instead ex parte to the telephone companies, got the records apparently, again, with no criminal predicate that we know about, no process whatsoever. It is a grotesque violation of statutory law and also the separation of powers, particularly the speech and debate clause. Here you have an executive branch directly spying on members of the legislative branch while they are performing their constitutional duties. Let me just ask you, Mr. David, does this sound like something we want to normalize? I mean, is this something you'd like to see the current Justice Department doing on a regular basis? I mean, should they be tracking the cell phone records of everybody down here on the left side of the dais? Would that be a good thing for the country?
Clearly no, Senator.
Clearly no. Clearly no. I can't tell you what an outrage I think this is, and so it's just a little bit hard for me to stomach sitting here and listening to be asked about all of these various hypotheticals. This isn't a hypothetical. This happened. It happened, and so far there have been exactly zero repercussions for it. And I just want to say that if my colleagues are serious about stopping political weaponization of the Justice Department, Why don't we start with this right here?